This is the Mariners POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Seattle Mariners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Chris Crawford, I don't know if I'm just used to thinking in the worst case scenario as a Mariners fan, but the first phrase that came to my mind after that win was, "You have now avoided disaster." From this weekend. And honestly, and I get that, we're biggest story. We're going to keep refreshing the news on Bryan Woo. And I guess I should wait to say that until I hear what's going on with that. But in terms of the series and the games played, you have avoided disaster and avoided the worst case scenario, which is huge for me and put so much pressure on Houston in the biggest series that the Mariners have had in the regular season in my lifetime. I'm just going to say it right now.
Sure.
Big win. Bryan Woo was nails, of course, before his injury. Bizzardo comes in and gets 2 huge innings. You get a relative bounce back effort from Matt Brash, and then Andres Munoz looked nasty again. The pitching, 4 solo home runs. That's about as Mariners baseball as it gets, right, Chris Crawford? We're going to talk about Bryan Woo. We'll talk about the home runs. We'll do our unsung hero, but first I want to hear the thoughts of Mr. Christopher Crawford after this massive win.
I struggle for words, and those of you who have followed me for a while, sorry, but I struggle to truly articulate how big this is, just how big this is. And, I'm just taking you behind the scenes. I titled this Yay, but because yay for the win. Let's find out the Bryan Woo news, right? Because we're at the point now where you control your destiny so much that you need Bryan Woo healthy to accomplish your ultimate goal, right? That doesn't take anything away from today. But here's hoping this is just cramping, a minor calf strain, something like that. Hashtag not a doctor, not even close to a doctor, but man, that's the only negative that you can take from this game. The clutch homers, 4 different guys hitting big old ding dongs, and then your bullpen was just lights out today in a game where I was super nervous going into it. I don't control a freaking thing that happens, right? We don't control it at all. But I was nervous. This is a game that it's the biggest regular season win for the Seattle Mariners in at least 20 years. Wow. In at least 20 years. And to do it and look like the overwhelmingly better team for all of the game, maybe other side of the first 2 batters of the game, that's pretty special stuff. And now the Seattle Mariners have a chance to really take control of this thing, and to make the path to doing something special so much easier. You had to win today for that to happen.
Yes.
You did that. Now, the other 8.
And to me, it just seemed like there was a different energy with this Mariners team. And I love it. I honestly think it's great. I think they looked more locked in. And in a 162-game season, you're not going to have, your 100%. It's hard to explain.
Sure.
You can't have your best every single game. It's just not how it works in baseball. But it seems like the guys were just all locked in today. I know they have a couple errors, but I don't think it's focused errors. It's one of those where it just doesn't fall your way defensively. But at the plate, they looked locked in. For whatever reason, what the image that I can't get out of my head is when Julio makes that really good catch, I believe in the 4th inning. Yeah. He doesn't do the, I'm so excited. No, he looks like I'm locked the F in right now. And that's something that I've never seen from him, but I love how he can turn it on at this point in the season. And he showed it today with another home run.
Yeah. Yeah. He played a terrific game. Now, I will point out, he did make the X later after he.
Yeah, he did. No, I'm just saying the overall.
Quiet. It was subdued. It was a focused laser.
Yes.
Whatever you want to do, Julio, especially with the way you're playing, right?
Sure.
Like, have a ball out there. But there was an intensity, but the moment never felt too big for them. And MacMan asks here, are we currently the 2nd seed if playoffs started since we are tied with Detroit? Yep. And that sweep of the Detroit Tigers is becoming so massive, because not only was that the series that got Julio going, he played okay before that. There were some signs of life, but that was what really got Julio going. That was the, boy, we wish there wasn't the All-Star break Julio. But like, that's also 3 straight wins against the team that you're chasing now. You're not going to be able to catch Toronto, even with I believe they lost by 148 runs today. You're not going to be able to catch the Toronto Blue Jays. But you are going to, and by the way, this is where baseball, just real quick little tangent. It's bull crap that the 3rd seed has a massive advantage over the 2nd seed in the wild card. That's dumb. That's freaking dumb. And that is something that's going to come and play here. I'd much rather play the corpse of the Tigers than I would play in New York against Yankee Stadium. But that's also why winning this division is so big. Bryan Woo was fantastic. He was absolutely fantastic before leaving with that injury, and we don't know what's going on for those of you who are joining us late.
We're going to refresh as much as we can.
Hit the refresh button. We're going to hit that Control F button to search for Woo on the different social medias to make sure, because we're both Windows guys. We're not Apple guys. We're hitting Control F, not some weird function button. But he looks so good, and what I really liked from Woo, and I hesitate to go too crazy about it because, we don't know if he's healthy, but let's assume he is. The secondary stuff was as good as I've seen. It wasn't just him throwing fastballs over the plate. And that's the version of Bryan Woo that I want to see personally from an aesthetic point of view. But sometimes he doesn't have command of those pitches the way he does his fastball. He commanded everything today. It was dominant stuff from Bryan Woo. And man, that was an ace performance for 5 innings.
Yeah, I appreciate you giving me the chance to say let's start with a start, but let's do that and hear what Chris Crawford just said, because the people at Locked On love structure. So
well, I just figured I talked for too long and that I overdid my chance for you to do the intro. I'm sorry.
It's all good. But no, I think what gets lost in it, because everyone's focused on his his health status, which I think is warranted because he's so important. It's going to be really key to see if this is a long-term thing or if this is like, hey, I just cramped up or something like that. But how good he was before that. And he was by far just dominating this Astros lineup. It was, and the one little bit of trouble he gets into, I believe in the 4th inning it was, where he walks.
He gives up a double and then a walk.
That's right. And then it's 1st and 2nd with 1 out, gets the double play, gets out of it. So Bryan Woo, honestly, this is why we start with a start every night, because that's how important starting pitching is. And you set the tone. And you mentioned being the overwhelmingly better team, which I agree with, by the way. Sometimes that can be the case because it's lined up to where you have your ace on the mound and they have their 4th or 5th starter on the mound. That was not the case tonight. They had their ace on the mound too. You did that against their best pitcher. So the Mariners win this one 4-0. Really, really praying that Bryan Woo is going to be okay. We'll come back on the other side, talk about those 4 massive home runs, maybe some other unsung performances as well here on the Mariners Postcast. Thanks for everyone for tuning in. Like the video if you haven't already. We'll be right back after a few quick messages. This episode's brought to you by PrizePicks, the daily fantasy app where making the right call can actually pay off. You and I make decisions every day, but on PrizePicks, being right means cashing in. Now, with football back, PrizePicks is the simplest and fastest way to get in on the action. Just make more or less on 2 to 6 player projections, and you can turn your takes into real prizes, all in less than 60 seconds. I've been playing a ton of PrizePicks lately, and it's just a perfect way to stay fun and locked in for the season. If you don't want to do a full-on bet or kind of mix and match in these different ways, it's just an easy way. Boom, you put a lineup out. It's quick, easy. Honestly, my favorite way to follow along with football. I love checking projections, like the more or less passing yards for guys that I feel good about. I think Michael Penix is going to go off, but there's also max discounts too. Patrick Mahomes, you can get at 0.5 passing yards. So hopefully he gets over 1 passing yards. So that'll kind of help your lineup out a little bit. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONMLB for $50 in lineups after your first $5 play. PrizePicks, it's good to be right.
This episode is brought to you by Zippix toothpicks. Whether you're looking for a nicotine satisfaction or an energy boost, Zippix has you covered with their nicotine and caffeine-infused toothpicks. For nicotine users, Zippix provides a discreet way to satisfy cravings and the hand-to-mouth habit without vaping or smoking. Zippix can be a helpful tool as you work to reduce your dependence on vaping. Available in 6 great flavors with 2 milligram and 3 milligram nicotine options. And if you need energy without the crash, their caffeine toothpicks are a game changer. The toothpicks are something that, we kind of need that habit, right? You need that feeling of having something where you feel like you're kind of in control. That's why I think a lot of people smoke, or they're just looking to relieve stress. Wouldn't you much rather have a toothpick in your mouth than to have a disgusting cigarette or vaping or something along those lines, where you're not only making yourself unhealthy, but you're making those around you unhealthy? Sir, seems like a better deal for me. And if you go to zippixtoothpicks.com, you can use code LOCKEDON for 10% off your first order. You must be 21 or older to enter. Warning, nicotine is an addictive chemical. That's zippixtoothpicks.com, promo code LOCKEDON. Zip more, smoke less with Zippix toothpicks.
Caffeine just got a flavor upgrade. Speaking of caffeine, 5-hour energy shots deliver tasty caffeine in 17 bold flavors. Each 2-ounce shot packs the caffeine of a premium 12-ounce cup of coffee, plus B vitamins and nutrients with 0 sugar and 0 crashes. What I love most is how portable they are. Big taste, tiny shot. You can take it anywhere you want and get that boost when you absolutely need it. I like it so much more than coffee because it's you don't get the whole acidic feeling after you drink a couple cups of coffee in the morning. It's just quick and easy, much healthier for you as well, and I feel so much better with no crash as well. Even with boring flavorless caffeine, it's time to give your caffeine a flavor upgrade with 5-hour energy shots. Get the favorites you love, or be bold and try something new in store and online at 5hourenergy.com or Amazon today. Welcome back to the Mariners Postcast. Anderson Hurst here. Trident Sub says hi, Chris. Hi. We're waving back. I'm not Chris, but Chris was waving back to say hi. We're still waiting on Woo news, guys. We're doing everything we can, but we're talking about this massive Mariner win to take the first game of the biggest series in my lifetime in the regular season for the Seattle Mariners. 4-0 win over the Houston Astros. Just a massive win. Bryan Woo was nails. The bullpen was nails. You get 4 clutch solo home runs. So let's talk about the offense here, Chris Crawford. First inning, Julio does it. I believe it was the 4th inning that Gino did it. Then you get one from Robles and you get one from Naylor. 4 guys in big moments, and every one of those home runs is just as big as the previous one. Yeah,
I will say, though, the Julio one kind of sets the tone here.
Yes.
And I think the reason it sets the tone is, going back to that first inning, Randy Arozarena strikes out on a terrific pitch from Hunter Brown. And Randy struggled today, right? Randy did not have his best offensive day. It's going to happen. Like Anders said, you can't have everyone playing at their absolute peak, as much fun as that might be. And then Cal got a pitch to hit, and he kind of grounds it to second base, and you're kind of feeling like, well, this is a wasted inning. And then Julio just clobbers that baseball into the Crawford boxes. And the reason why I thought that was so big is because it didn't just set the tone for the offense that, hey, this is a place where we can hit ding-dongs. This is a place where we can hit round trippers. It also set the tone for Bryan Woo.
Yeah.
That Bryan Woo was going to say, hey, I've got my run. I've got the offensive support here. If I pitch the way I'm capable of, we are going to win this game. I don't have to force anything. I don't have to throw 99 on the black every single pitch and rely on the whatever amount of RPMs that guy generates, right? I can use my whole stuff. I've got my offense behind me. I thought that's why that was such a massive home run there. But all of them were big. Geno's would be second, obviously, and that may seem like an obvious thing. Hey, the one that makes it 2-0 is maybe more valuable than the one that makes it 3-0,
Yeah,
blah, blah. But boy, when Geno's home run goes over that stupid ballpark, I knew the Seattle Mariners were going to win. I knew it. I absolutely knew it. So great to see him driving the baseball. The other at-bats weren't so great, but his defense was solid. And other than one error, and Anders brought it up to my that was a tougher play than it looked like. There was some nasty spin on that baseball. I love that Victor Robles home run. Okay, first home run of the year, right? It goes into the Crawford boxes. The Crawford boxes are a joke. The stadium, that's a joke. Guess what, Anders? That's a home run in every single ballpark.
Everyone.
It was a 30 for 30 home run into the Crawford boxes for Victor Robles. And if you get him driving the baseball, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me if you get that dude driving the baseball? But I thought there were really good at-bats from everyone tonight. Even Randy Arozarena worked some counts tonight. The results weren't what you want. But I thought everybody had at least 1 to 2, and some other folks, quality. Okay, just announced.
I was waiting. You just can't stop talking, Chris Crawford. My God.
No, that's why people watch. But not true. You talk.
No, it's okay. I was just waiting. Okay. I don't know if you wanted to hear it.
Honestly, no. I just got interrupted. Really good job by the offense. Let's talk about Bryan Woo.
Yeah, according to Dan Wilson right now, it says he has pec tightness, quote unquote, little pec tightness. I'm seeing some things. I don't know if this is true that he was feeling some stuff before the game, which I don't know if that's true because he looked dialed in for the first 5 innings. So I don't know how true that is. He's going to have an MRI tomorrow, it seems like. Chris, as someone who has, updated us a lot on fantasy baseball with injuries.
Yes.
What do you take from hearing pec tightness? I guess it could be worse.
It could be so much worse. But here's the thing with any type of injury report from any major league team, it doesn't really tell you a whole hell of a lot, right? Yeah. Like, obviously, this is better than hearing a forearm strain. Obviously, this is better than hearing tightness in the elbow. Obviously, this is better than hearing something with his hamstring, where you're relying so much on the push off here. I will just say this. If Bryan Woo does have to miss a start, and I'm praying to that Etsy witch that it doesn't happen, you are skipping that turn in the rotation because everybody can go on full 4 days rest for a while. You got to do it. You can't start Logan Evans. If you wanted to do a bullpen game, I guess you could do that, but you're not relying on any of the other starters right now. And this is why, if Bryan Woo can't pitch again in this season, and please tune into Ty and Colby tomorrow because they'll have a ton on this and we'll have more information and all that stuff. This is why that second seed could be even more major because it gives Bryan Woo more time to get 100%. And that's going to be massive. Long story short, I hear pec tightness. I don't feel good. Oh, I could feel so much worse right now.
Yeah, it's
so much worse.
It obviously depends on the severity, which the MRI will hopefully give us more information later. But yeah, I was really praying it wasn't like a dead arm or like my elbow's gone situation. Like, to be honest, the interaction looked a lot like the Corbin Burns one from earlier in the season.
Yeah.
I was worried for the worst. I was like,
that's a great call.
No.
That's a great, and some of that is to do with the fact that Bryan Woo always looks like someone put something in his Cheerios that you didn't want to put in your Cheerios. Like that guy never looks happy. Brian, smile. You're so handsome. Yeah. So handsome. Show off those good looks, buddy. Boy, oh boy, though, it's not good news. It's not good news, but this could be so much worse. And assuming it's not a strain, because I imagine they'll undergo imaging, right, to make sure, you should be able to get Bryan Woo back. But make sure you're paying attention and stay tuned to Ty and Colby going forward because they will definitely have more.
Yep, they'll update you guys tomorrow. Be sure to tune in for that. For those of you guys tuned into us, please like the video for us. Does us a ton. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. That's just the easiest way to support us. We really appreciate it. I like what you said there. I don't think, even if there's a question whether he can go or not, I think you skip his thing in the rotation against the Rockies. I don't feel terrible about having Luis Castillo go on normal days rest. You have Monday off, so it would be like if you were playing every day for the rest of the season for the starting pitchers. Furball says, do you think they will live stream his MRI? Probably not, but they should, because they should know how many Mariner fans are watching that.
Oh my gosh, yeah. He's talking right now, and he looks the same as he would look if he had 7 innings of 14 strikeouts, or if he gave up 14 runs in a third of an inning. It always looks the same, for better or worse.
Really quick.
By the way, real quick. Sorry, Anders. I see some people saying don't start on short rest. It's not short rest, guys. It's the exact same amount of rest. It's the exact same. The day off on Monday means that you can go to your guys on normal 4-day rest, right? Now, the Dodger series you might have to do something about, but if you take care of business here, the Dodger series isn't going to mean nearly as much. Right. It's more important to get this out of the way, to make sure that you have, number one, Bryan Woo healthy, and number two, Logan Evans on a start where he's been out for as long as he has. I can't do that. I just can't. I will go bullpen day over Logan Evans. You can make Logan Evans part of the bullpen day if you want, right? Like, you can have him be the guy who opens and throws 2 innings, and then you go to Hancock for 2 or 3 innings or something along those lines. It just can't be a traditional start. You can't rely on Logan Evans to be that guy.
Yep, I'm with you. I think if there's any question about him being 100%, especially against the Rockies, just go on normal rest, shorter than it would have been. Yes, right. But normal rest, because you have the Monday off. So the guys would be pitching on their normal 4 days rest. I am totally fine with that. Good with Luis. However it lined up, I believe that would be Luis, Bryce Miller, and then George Kirby, something like that,
or George Kirby. It would be George Kirby in that situation.
Right. So I mean, it's just I'm honestly totally fine with that. I trust those guys. Let's give a couple minutes to the offense here. I put out right as it happened on Twitter that that might have been Julio's biggest home run in his career. Do you agree?
Yeah. No, the home run that he hit to tie the game against Atlanta is the biggest. That was probably the second biggest, though. I would put that just behind that home run that he had against Kenley Jansen to tie the game against Atlanta, and really push that playoff series forward. That's still the number one for me. But this is pretty easy silver medal. Pretty darn easy silver medal. Unsung hero for me is JP Crawford. I know he makes the air, but it's so nice to see him slashing the baseball opposite field and also using the middle of the park as well. That is my unsung hero from this game.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Eugenio Suarez. Similar thing. I know he has an error too. I'm not worried about his defense. I know I had some friends texting me saying, "Oh, that left side of the infield is gonna give me a heart attack." That may be the case with JP. That'll be a conversation later. They won't ever change that. Nope. But I don't feel that way about Eugenio Suarez at all. I think if you really look at that ground ball closely, where it kind of pops out of his glove, it took a wicked bounce. Yes. Like a weird spin, and just, you could tell Gino was like, what the heck just happened there? But he also made an incredible barehanded play earlier, so he made up for it defensively earlier in the game. And then his offense was like, if you get that tank on that pitch, like, and you said that's probably the one where you knew the Mariners were winning this game. You will absolutely take that every single day from Eugenio Suarez. So he is my unsung hero. It seems to me, I realized he didn't have a great day yesterday. Had the 4 hits 2 days ago. It seems to me he's crawling out of his slump a little bit. Not like bursting out of it like he's just fine, but he's crawling out of it, starting to see the ball a little bit better now.
Yeah, he's taking really good cuts, and he is not getting dominated by that slider low and away. It's been really nice to see, and he's been more than adequate with the glove. Is it my favorite left side of an infield? No, sir. Heck no at all. It's not even close, but it's good enough. And especially seeing JP, starting to figure some stuff out there. My only concern was Randy today. That was the only guy who I just kind of
everyone's going to be mashing the ball, though.
You can't be. But I will, I'd like to see him get going, because when that guy's on, right, it's just such a special thing. This is a great win. It's a
Huge
great win. You have a chance to do something special now in the series. You have a chance to, that sweep can't happen without a first one, guys.
That's a good point. I also really want to point out, again, I've been as big of a Dan Wilson critic as anyone over the
great
course
job
of this
tonight.
season. Awesome job on his part. 2 innings with Bizardo was a perfect call. Also good on Bizardo for going 2 innings. Like, just so dominant stuff. Brash gets a bounce back outing, and then going to Munoz, even though you're up by 4, I think was the absolute right decision from Dan Wilson. Don't try and get greedy and steal something where you don't use your leverage, guys. Get the win that's in front of you and deal with the other 2 games later. So great day from Dan Wilson. Just wanted to shout that out real quick. Any last words before we get out of here, Chris Crawford?
No, this was fun. Let's do it again.
We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Really appreciate it. 5:10 first pitch. Let's go win the series tomorrow. All right. Take it one game at a time. Excellent work. Good job, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. Check out, I don't know if Ty and Colby will have an episode tomorrow. Usually they don't during the weekends, but maybe because of a massive series, they might scoot something out for you guys. But if not, you guys know where to find us. Let's go. Mariners Postcast here on the Locked On Mariners YouTube channel. Thank you so much. Like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and tell your friends. Appreciate you guys. Have a good night. Go